Good afternoon and welcome to today's council hearing on the preliminary budget hearing on hospitals. At this point, no one may approach the dais at any time during today's hearing. Chair, you may begin.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Council Member Mercedes Narcisse, Chair of the Committee on Hospitals. Thank you for attending today's hearing on the city's fiscal 2026 preliminary budget. The New York City Health and Hospital Corporation's 5-year operating and capital plans for 2025 to 2029 and the fiscal 2025 preliminary. During today's hearing, we will review H&H operating fiscal 2026 budget of 2.28 billion, which represent roughly 2% of the city's budget. But first and foremost, I would like to thank everyone who has joined us today and my fellow council member that's here, Mamarito, thank you, and Book Power on Zoom. One major addition in the preliminary plan is a new funding of $6 million added in fiscal 2026 for the Bridge to Home program, and a baseline funding of $12.9 million starting in fiscal 2027 for this new pilot program that aims to support homeless individuals with severe mental health issues. I'm encouraged by this investment in mental health support for the New Yorkers who need it the most. And I'm interested to learn about the specifics of the program in this hearing. H&H overall headcount has increased by 1,493 positions since we compared the second quarter of fiscal 2025 to the fourth quarter of fiscal 2024. However, H&H's physician headcount has decreased by 6 positions over the same period. The recent Doctors' Council negotiations have highlighted the difficult and demanding conditions that H&H physicians worked in. I'm concerned about H&H abilities to maintain a satisfactory physician headcount. And I am seeking clarity on the efforts that H&H is taking to improve working conditions for our physicians. On one H&H budget component, it is capital budget spending. The preliminary capital commitment plan includes nearly $620 million in funding for the Bellevue, Hood Hall, and North Central Bronx Correctional Health Services Outpost Unit. This outpost unit will provide much needed health care for inmates at Rikers Island, ensuring that incarcerated people are guaranteed the basic human right of adequate medical care. After all, we are New York City, we care about everyone. I'm interested in learning more about the planned scope of operation of these facilities. In addition, the capital commitment plan also includes $50.5 million in funding for 4 key women's health investment across the South Brooklyn, Kings, and Woodhull hospitals. These investments include renovations to birthing and labor infrastructure and the integration of different aspects of women's healthcare. This investment is an encouraging sign that the city is serious about women's healthcare, and I'm excited to learn more about each of this investment today. I have to give it up to BP Reynoso, that's always key on that, and of course my speaker, Adrienne Adam, to make sure women health is taken care of. I'd like to thank my committee staff, committee counsel Rio Ogazawa, policy analyst Joshua Newman, financial analyst Aman Mahadavan, and unit head Florentin Cabaret for their work on this hearing. I would like also thank my chief of staff, Saya Joseph, and the rest of my staff that keep it going for me. And for their hard work, I appreciate them. Today we'll be hearing testimony from representatives from the administration, of course, Dr. Katz. I now turn to Community Council to administer their oath for this panel of administration officials.
We will now be hearing testimony from the administration. Before we begin, I will administer the affirmation. Panelists, please raise your right hand. I will read the affirmation once, then call on each of you individually to respond. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth before this committee, and to respond honestly to council member questions? I do. Thank you.
And now you may begin. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Always so happy to see that the chairperson for the Committee on Hospitals is a nurse who knows better about hospitals than nurses. Welcome the other members as well. I'm Dr. Mitch Katz. I'm a primary care physician and the proud president and CEO of New York City Health and Hospitals. I'm joined by James Cassidy, our financial officer from Health and Hospitals, and Dr. Patsy Yang, who is our senior vice president over correctional health services. Pleased to be here with you and to share our fiscal performance. As you know, we're the largest municipal health system in the country, serving over 1 million persons each year. We are very proud of the fact that we care for all of New York City without exceptions. We offer all our services, including gender-affirming care, abortion services, and the support that our immigrant communities need. Over the past year, we have made significant advancements that I wanted to highlight for the committee. I know Chair Narcisse will be particularly happy to know we've hired over 3,000 union nurses, and now we are using agency nurses only for what agency registry nurses are meant for, which is unexpected absences and leaves. We've connected 375 patients to permanent housing through our Housing for Health program. We've provided short-term housing and access to medical care to 290 patients through our medical respite program, broken ground on the new Gotham Clinic in Far Rockaway. We completed construction of the Bellevue outposted units for correctional health, which the chair has already spoken to the value of that. We've earned $6.1 million in Medicare shared savings. We've completed the expansion of the lifestyle medicine program. We have 7 sites system-wide. We begun opening 16 school-based mental health clinics to cover 6,000 students. We completed the flood wall at Metropolitan Hospital, and we opened up 20 wellness rooms. All our facilities earned the LGBTQ+ Healthcare Equity Leader designation. New York City Care celebrated its 5th year anniversary with over 140,000 members. New York's out at Staten Island, New York City Hospital Seaview was again ranked as the #1 nursing home in New York City by Newsweek. We continue to do, I think, admirable job of bringing in revenue and spending all of that money on the needs of our patients. So we closed the first half of fiscal year 25 with a positive net budget variance of $134 million, which is about 1%. Our January closing in cash was nearly $500 million, which is 18 days of cash on hand. As we look at our preliminary financial plan going forward, our overall fiscal picture remains stable. Our fiscal year 26 preliminary cash plan is largely consistent with our recent performance. We're currently projecting an operating gain of $111 million, which is 1% positive, followed by an operating gain of $213 million. When we look to the longer outcome, we are well positioned, but we're also aware of a number of storm clouds that are on the horizon, including potential federal cuts to the Medicaid disproportionate share hospital program and other general programs with Medicaid. We look forward to working with our wonderful city council, our mayor, our state and federal leaders to try to make sure that we always have enough dollars to be able to provide the services that New York City needs. So we very much appreciate the support that this committee and the City Council in general has always provided to us, and we look forward to your questions and recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Katz. Always happy to see you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bridge to Home, which I believe is a great, it's about time for us to approach the mental health folks in our city. And I'm so grateful that I know a doctor is in charge, because you can understand when what's going on with someone with mental health. And that's the biggest problem we have in the city of New York, unfortunately. The preliminary plan includes a new needs of $6 million in fiscal 2026 and a baseline funding of $12.9 million starting in fiscal 2027 for a new pilot program to support homeless individuals with severe mental health issues. What factors were considered creating this new program?
Well, thanks so much for highlighting it, and I'm happy to talk about it, and I think it helps all of us to understand the limitations in the mental health system as they are created. If someone is severely in a mental health crisis with psychotic features, meaning that they're hearing things that are not being said, they're seeing things that are not in front of them, they are of danger to themselves or to others, we have excellent inpatient psychiatric facilities where we will hospitalize somebody. After something like 7 to 14 days, most patients can be given a medical regimen that will take away the psychosis, that will enable them to return to their baseline state. The problem is that at that point, once they are stable, they will normally be discharged. Now, if they were a family member of any of us, what would we do? We would take them home. We would make sure that they got enough food. We'd make sure they took their medicine every day. We would make sure that they went to their visits. We would make sure that we were a loving presence if they started to feel at all unsafe. Okay, so now let's take the same person, but they're homeless. What happens now? So our social workers will do their absolute best to give a good plan, but the absolute best at the moment would be a shelter system bed, which is a congregate bed. And if you can imagine what it would be like to have a serious mental illness with paranoid features and to sleep in a room with 16 other strangers, and how that might affect your paranoia. And those shelter beds, and I admire the shelter providers, but as it stands now, we don't pay them to do mental health services. It's a shelter. That's its purpose, so that people are not sleeping outside. But we don't do the kind of intensive services that somebody who just left. And again, it's the gap. You generally in a medical hospital, you wouldn't go from the ICU to discharge. You go to ICU, you'd go to a step down, you'd go to a medical bed, maybe then you'd go to a rehab bed, then you'd go to a bed where you would go for regular long-term care. But in mental health, you would one moment be in a facility 24 hours a day of doctors, nurses, social workers, to being in a shelter with an appointment to see someone. Again, we would never leave people out, but it's not surprising that many people, given that, leave the shelter. We give them medicines to hold them, but those medicines often get lost. People don't attend their appointments. And then all of that work and expense that goes into providing 24-hour care for 7 to 14 days can often be lost in a matter of weeks. People lose their medicines, don't take their medicines, don't take the follow-up appointment, And so then you're back in the same circle. And we have noticed that there is a circle between the shelter, the psychiatric emergency room, the inpatient unit, Rikers, back to shelter. And the goal of Bridge to Health is to interrupt that, to be able to give people single rooms, which we believe will enable people with serious paranoia and other mental illnesses to be able to stay, give them steady nutrition, nursing staff there so they don't have to go somewhere else, other mental health programming, rehab programming, so that we can actually be able to stabilize them and ultimately discharge them to supportive housing. We do have resources, but someone cannot go from a psychiatric 24-hour-a-day hospitalization into supportive housing. It's just not possible. They need time, leases, find the unit. That's not going to work. So I feel like this really it will fill a hole, and that while the numbers may not seem large, I believe this is a group that creates a lot of expense and work in New York City as they cycle through the shelter and Rikers and the emergency departments. That if we could really focus on this group of very, very high need people, we would give them a better chance, and we would also see improvements in quality of life across New York City.
After this, no one should be asking what Bridge to Home is, because you just give it in a nutshell. So thank you. We need many of that, not 2 or 3, because we have a lot of problems we have to deal with. How will H&H determine the location of the 2 Bridge to Home sites? And what criteria will be used to determine the sites? And when does H&H anticipate making a final decision on site location?
We're currently looking at sites. We don't yet have a particular site, and we would always, include the city council and the community boards in any site that we chose. Likely the program will be a satellite of Bellevue Hospital, which sees the largest number of seriously mentally ill homeless people. So it would be wise for it to be not too far from Bellevue Hospital. But beyond that, we don't yet have a site.
If I may say, it should be based on statistic of where people are. We have the highest folks have that, severe mental illness. And I don't think it's only Manhattan and Bellevue.
Certainly not. As you say, we have a large number of such people in New York City.
H&H will contract out a portion of the funding to nonprofit organizations, and it is anticipated that there will be 2 sites in the city with 50 beds each to cover a total of 100 patients. Which nonprofit organizations will be involved in this program? Will you roll out a concept paper for this program? How much funding is anticipated to be allocated directly to providers?
These are still details that we're working on. From a fiscal point of view, the budget does not start till July 1. That's when the money was allocated. So we will not have, be having any expenditures until at least July 1. So we're still working out who will be the service providers and what will be the full programming. But we're happy, as that goes along, we're interested in people's feedback about the program. And as you say, if we can show that this is a workable program, we know that the number needed in New York City is more than 100.
Definitely.
But first we need to prove that we are able to do this. And that remember, it is a voluntary program, so people will need to stay. And one of the reasons why the current system does not work well is because most people with severe mental illness will not survive well in an existing shelter because their level of need is just too high. They cannot live that closely with a large number of other people in a congregate setting without services.
Fully in agreement. How do you anticipate measuring the success of Bridge to Home?
I think the most important success and why Bridge is in the title would be how many people can you move from the bridge ultimately into permanent housing? Because otherwise, there'll be no flow, and whatever you build, you'll fill, and then you'll still have people who need it. So the program works best if you can move people along. And I've certainly seen that if you give people steady nutrition, steady medications, and you don't subject them to the stress of living on the street, people can look very different in 3 months, but they don't look very different in 14 days. In 14 days, you make progress. You may stop the very loud voices, but what you really need is 2 to 3 months, depending on the person. And so I'd say definitely the most important criteria would be of success would be how many people are you able to discharge to permanent housing. I'd say other things we'll be looking at is what's the hospitalization rate back, because this is meant to prevent that. So how many people wind up back in the hospital, how many people wind up at Rikers, crimes that are committed, how many people stay, because again, my view always is when you're talking about homeless people, it shouldn't be that hard to make a value proposition. I mean, they're not going to live in a luxury apartment house, right? They're going to be on the streets and the subway. It should be pretty easy to create something with thoughtful people that people want to stay. And if people stay, again, you won't have the issues that so upset people of walking by and seeing people on grates, against buildings, eating out of garbage cans, the things that we all find so distressing.
Thank you. I want to acknowledge we've been joined by my colleagues Ressler and Palladino. Okay. Show program. The fiscal 2026 preliminary budget funding level for the show program is $8.3 million, an unchanged amount from the fiscal 2025 adopted budget, but a decrease of $1.1 million from the fiscal 2025 current budget. SHOW is a street medicine program that brings medical care to homeless individuals, including substance abuse intervention. What update could you provide about this program in terms of number of the people served? Can you share the number of events served by borough and the overall success of it?
Yes, thank you. We're very proud of the show program, and again, it is quite an innovative model of saying you can give people appointments, but if they don't show, all you've done is created blocks in the schedule that can't go to other people, and you haven't done anything for them. When you put a van in front of a place where there are a large number of homeless people, it turns out they come, especially if you provide culturally appropriate services, which in this case includes sanitary kits, socks, food, things that are important to people. And then we're able, we now even have through virtual care, we can get a psychiatrist on the screen to evaluate somebody right from the street. We have started people on buprenorphine to deal with their opioid addictions, all from the street. So just to give you a sense of the numbers, since 2021, we have done 269,000 street engagements and 32,000 medical consults. We have distributed 82,000 hygiene kits, 5,000 Narcan kits, 3,000 fentanyl test strips. So we have by borough, which you asked, we have one show unit in the South Bronx in zip code 10451. Brooklyn is served by one show unit in the Bedford-Stuyvesant Bushwick zip code 11221. Manhattan, which does in general have the highest number of homeless people, at least street homeless people, We have 3 units, one in zip code 1002 in Lower East Side, one in Harlem at 10027, and one in Washington Heights, 10033. And then Queens is served by a show unit deployed in Elmhurst, Jackson Heights, and Corona. In general, we found that more than half of the people who visited have come for repeat engagements, and that we have been able to get people, who were once very tentative about treatment, especially substance treatment. We've actually been able to get them into treatment by having the show vans.
Why is the funding reduced in the current budget, and why isn't it baseline to expenditure?
So, as you know, because we discussed it at last year's hearing, the show van, due to a PEG reduction in fiscal '25, ended 2 of the show units. However, we are now flat funding, so there are no further cuts. But yes, there was a PEG in fiscal year '25.
Thank you. Bridge to Home is a new program funded in the preliminary plan to provide support to homeless individuals with severe mental health issues. And if I go back to SHOW is a street medicine program that brings medical care to homeless individuals, including substance abuse intervention. How can SHOW and Bridge to Home collaborate to efficiently use resources and better serve those individuals in need?
See, you always think like a nurse. So yes, the plan would be to have the van be very close in proximity, at least a couple of days to the bridge, because we're not going to establish medical care at the bridge. So this way, people can access the medical part, have their blood pressure checked and treated. We treat diabetes, we treat wound infections. Being able to put the van very close to the site once we have a site will enable us to provide the medical care without additional expenses.
Okay. Coming to SHOW, I have a slight question. Would SHOW be able to, let's say, there's an influx of homeless individuals in certain specific area, can they move from that location to address the need of that particular other zip code?
Absolutely. I mean, the great thing about SHOW is that it's a van and we can move it.
Okay.
The only thing that we notice is that it helps to have a steady schedule. You don't want it to be a surprise as to where it is, because then people can't follow up. So you want to be able to say, okay, we're here today on Wednesday. I'll be here next Wednesday. Come on back so that I can check your wound and make sure it's getting better.
Okay.
So we want predictability in the van, but we do periodically move them to where they're needed. We just don't want to move them every week.
Gotcha.
We want people to know where they are so they can come back to it.
Nice. That's good. The children program now. The preliminary plan includes additional funds of $2.3 million in fiscal 2025, only to support inpatient psychiatric care for children at Bellevue. The Bellevue facility contains a comprehensive psychiatric emergency program, CPEP, for children. What will this additional funding be used for? What aspect of youth inpatient psychiatric care at Bellevue will this funding support?
I want James Cassidy to explain the fiscal part, because this has a slightly strange aspect.
Okay.
Sure, I think this is really, it's a longstanding intercity arrangement that we've had with the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, so they've given us the funds for this. So it's not,
Put it a little closer. Yeah,
it's not
so
two
everybody
point,
can hear.
it's not $2.3 million in new funding. It's really, this was a modification in the January plan to bring us to the historical levels. But as part of it, they did do a small amendment to increase the funds to increase adolescent psych capacity at Bellevue. But it's not $2.3 million in
It's
new.
not 3. So what is it?
The new funding's only about $100,000 or so.
So it is worth pointing out that Bellevue has some extraordinary programs for children and children's mental health. It's just that this is not, we don't want people to think this is a 2.3 million augmentation. It's a $100,000 augmentation for, as James has explained, for adolescent health care. And it's just, it's a correction that needs to be made.
Thank you. I
in the
appreciate it.
documents.
Sorry, I appreciate
All
it.
good.
We all
All
good. Number have to be correct. I agree. What's the number of children that will be served by Bellevue?
Overall, we provide to 78,000 children get behavioral health services, but that's all of health and hospitals. I don't know if I have a Bellevue only. I don't have a Bellevue only number. I'll have to get that for you.
Okay. Will the funding that we were talking about lead to an increased headcount at Bellevue by any chance?
If it's 100,000, no.
No.
Yeah.
I forget. We are concerned that families in low-income neighborhoods are not aware of the CPEP program for children at Bellevue. Do you have demographic data on the patients at CPEP in terms of their parenting, the parents' income level and the neighborhoods where they are coming from? What outreach efforts are being made to inform the public about the CPEP program?
So what we have is we have demographic information. So 60% identify as either Black, African American, Hispanic, Latinx, or Asian American Pacific Islander. 30% are limited English proficiency, and 70% are insured by Medicaid or have no insurance at all. So we're talking very, very, very low income for that. In terms of we have both, we provide information through the city's referral lines, including 988 referrals and schools. I think we can always do a better job of making sure that it's available. People can come, they can walk in, they can call. It is available 24 hours a day.
Thank you.
Certainly, if you have ideas or other people have other ideas of how better to get out the word, we're very open to that.
Thank you. So since we're talking about school, are we partnering with DOE to make sure that it's being promoted?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Be Heard program. How many H&H personnel are currently staffing the Be Heard programs? Is the agency actively hiring for this program?
Yes, we are actively hiring for the program. We have, at the moment, 38 mental health clinicians working on the ground.
38. 38, right?
38.
38.
Right. Remember, we're a small part of the overall HERD program. We provide the social workers, but we're not the first responders.
Okay. Headcount. H&H overall headcount has increased by 1,493 positions when comparing the second quarter of fiscal 2025 with the fourth quarter of 2024. This increase is reflected in every category, with the most positions for registered nurse, which you answer some part of it, tech specialists, and residents. However, the number of residents has increased by 137, while the number of physicians has decreased by 6 positions. Are residents being asked to cover the work typically done by physicians? has H&H received complaints from patients who expected to consult a physician and were instead directed to a resident?
So thank you for asking, because it gives me a chance to clarify. There are many issues always with health and hospital budgets. So the budget you see when it comes to head count are those people who are on the city payroll. But the vast majority of our doctors are not on the city payroll. The vast majority of our doctors are hired through affiliates, either NYU, Mount Sinai, or PAGNI. And so those don't appear in your budget. And in particular, there have been movements of some previously city physician positions to PAGNI because it works better in our system. So I don't want people to think that there has been a decrease in doctors. There has not been a decrease in doctors.
There's no
That's
decrease.
those positions just moved
Okay.
to the affiliate rather than being
Move.
direct
Okay.
city employment. Residents, as you know, are a very important part of health and hospitals and a very important part of our system. The resident role is distinct from the attending doctor role, but they are physicians. After the first year, you become a licensed physician. So, a large part of their residency is meant for learning how to become an attending physician. So, I don't see it, do we ask a resident to do an attending doctor job? No. But in all teaching hospitals, residents play important roles, and that's medicine, right, remains primarily an apprenticeship. That's the model that medicine has always been. You learn and you provide service, and you provide service to learn. I don't think that people would be very good doctors if they only went in the classroom and read from books. Most of what you learn, whether you're a doctor or a nurse or a physician assistant, you learn by caring for people. That's how you learn. Now, it all has to be appropriately supervised, right? That doesn't mean you just go out there and nobody is checking to make sure it's correct. But residents absolutely perform important clinical jobs, but not the job of an attending.
But patients still want to see a physician, their attending physician, not the resident.
Right, they would see
So
both.
do they have a lot of complaint around that?
I wouldn't say a lot. I mean, I know the issue you mean. I mean, it was true 35 years ago when I was a resident too. I mean, it's, the best, one of my favorite stories was when I was on a oncology floor. It must have been in the 80s, and the family insisted that the IV only be put in by the attending. And of course, the attending tried and failed 3 times, because God knows when the last time the attending was asked to put in an IV. And I was the second year resident, and so I went and put in the IV, which of course I had no trouble because I was a second year resident. That's all I ever did was draw bloods and put in IVs. And the family then brought me this large, gift and insisted that I'd be the only one allowed to take care of the patient because of the success in putting in the IV. So the issue always exists, and I would tell anyone, if they have a serious medical problem, they're at a teaching hospital, they should absolutely ask to speak to the attending. But I think teaching hospitals work well when everybody does their job. And that's the best model.
I would be in agreement, definitely. But I'm still having the residents, are the residents covering their attending physician for things that the attending physician normally do?
No. A
No.
resident does the
Okay.
things that a resident should do.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
But again, it's important to understand some of the distinctions. For example, a central line can only be put in by a resident after a resident has been supervised putting in several lines successfully. So I think for central line, it's 10. So 10 times the resident is observed by an attending putting in the line. If 10 times the resident successfully puts in the line, resident is then certified to put in central lines. The 11th time, there wouldn't not be an attending there because you have supervised appropriately the person. So, what we believe in is that every skill, and it's the same thing in nursing, right? Every skill should be taught. Competency should be determined. You should have a standard of what determines competency. People should have to fulfill it. But once they've fulfilled it, they're allowed to do it. But they're not allowed to do it if they haven't fulfilled it.
As you're explaining putting the line, guess what? Most oncology patient at Elmhurst used to look for me.
Yes,
Because I'm
I
afraid
bet.
of needles, so I have to make sure that I'm good at it.
See?
So, but we still want the residents not to be overwhelmed as well. So that's where I'm getting it.
Understood.
All right. How does H&H plan to increase the physicians' head count? Does H&H have a target head count for physician? You said there is no decrease. Am I
There
correct?
is no decrease, right. The positions that you highlighted just moved from
Moved
the
from-
city payroll to the affiliate payroll.
Okay, so thank you for that. Habina has joined me. Oh, Council Member Rivera just joined us. Before I get to state budget, I have book, Majority Whip, book powers. No? So, Margarito, you have a question before I get to move on to the
I have a ton
budget?
of questions. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I just wanted to touch on the baby boxes. Can you explain the need for the creation of the baby boxes?
Sure. Again, it's nice to have another healthcare professional. So on the board asking questions about healthcare. What we've noticed is that a lot of the patients that we care for don't have the kind of social circles that result in the baby showers that many of us enjoyed when we were first parents. I remember myself having one when I brought my son home from Vietnam, and the people at work, with the onesies and the diapers and the other things. And so the goal of the baby boxes is to start people off well who may not have the kind of social circle that produces those kinds of things, and to make sure, that those first, days as a parent are as unstressful as possible, because you have the diapers, you have the onesies, you have the wipes and the things that you needed. They have been very popular among the patients.
Okay, it's our understanding that this will be for new mothers. All new mothers will be eligible to receive that regardless of income. Is that correct?
Correct. We, our own patients so skew to low income that we don't try to distinguish by income.
Yeah, because I know when I became a new mother, there were things that the hospital had gifted me that I wouldn't have known to have gotten for myself because I just was never around babies. So I would love to see if you guys could commit to continue giving it to all new mothers at
Absolutely.
these hospitals?
That's our part of the tradition of health and hospitals on all grounds is we do not know, nor do we try to find out people's incomes. Right. I mean, we provide one standard of services, whatever you are, rich, poor. It's the same services.
Okay, good. Now, I just wanted to move over to the Bridge to Home program. Now, are you looking to acquire a building to house these individuals, or are you looking to place them into separate, different apartments all throughout the city?
We would need it to be a single unit because it just wouldn't be efficient to provide the services scattered site.
Okay,
So
are you
the
looking?
idea is the ideal place, and we haven't yet found it, would be a hotel, not used, single rooms, a common space for the services that didn't require construction. We don't want, the idea is to start this program in July when the budget starts, so I can't have construction. And I would not buy a building.
Okay.
So the idea is to find a hotel that is not being heavily used and that where they're willing to do, you know, a lease for the entire building.
But it will be off-site, not on the campuses and?
Not on any
okay.
campus, no.
Okay. And I just wanted to touch on the correctional health budget increase. $9 million is a lot for wage increases. Can you kind of explain why that is so much?
I'm going to have Patsy explain.
Hi, Patsy Yang. Those are all related to collective bargaining increases for our staff.
How much staff do you have on the correctional health that will be
Currently we have
impacted by this?
1,422.
Okay. That's a lot. Okay, one last question, and I will be done. So I just was wondering, as far as a capital improvement at 1900 Seminole Avenue, where did the funding come for that? Because they're doing brick pointing on the outside of the building, and I was just curious when that money was put into the budget and where that came from.
I don't. I didn't know that they were doing brick work. I mean, we're certainly not trying to construct anything, and the city council has to make its own decision on that facility. It's conceivable that there's just basic maintenance. I mean, we have to keep buildings always in maintenance.
Yeah, it's brick pointing. Yeah, that's exactly what it
Right.
is.
So
And
it
I
would
was just
just be
curious as
part
to
of
where that
Jacoby's-
came from, where the
Jacoby's
budget is, how
maintenance.
much it is, and where does that get rolled into? Like, is it just
I
like
think
every
it's just
year?
Jacoby's maintenance budget to keep the existing buildings. I mean, again, this is separating your issue. I mean, one of the challenges we have of any building we don't use is we still have to maintain it.
Of course.
Right, you can't let it fall, you can't let it deteriorate. So we have no specific budget, we're not currently spending anything for that future project, which
No,
is
I'm
up
not,
to the
I'm
city
not, I'm not
council.
even bringing that
Yeah.
into it. I was just curious as to where the money came
Jacoby
for the.
maintenance,
Okay. And how much do you guys budget a year for Jacoby maintenance on the buildings?
we'd have to find out.
I would-
Do you
I
know
would
what
like-
the overall maintenance is in the city, in a health and hospital budget?
Combination of capital expense, we can get the number, but it's a combination.
If you can please get that
Yeah,
information to me, I'd appreciate it.
It's
Thank
not
you.
a small number, I mean,
I know.
we have a large number of buildings and not necessarily in great shape.
But I'd like
we'll
to
get
at
it,
least
sure.
especially get the one for 1900 if possible.
Will do,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you again, colleagues. But before I move to my other colleague, I have a quick question. You said the physicians move around, right? They move around.
They moved from the city payroll to the affiliate payroll, is that
To
what you mean?
affiliate. Also, they move to the affiliate payroll.
Correct.
So who they actually responsible? Like if it's an affiliate payroll, I mean that's doing the payroll, right? They're getting paid from some other source.
Correct.
So are they responsible like for your work or for that affiliate?
Sure, no, so, I mean, if someone works for health and hospitals, they're, from my point of view, they're our doctor.
Okay.
Regardless of.
Who's paying them?
Paying them, because it's just, we pay PAGNY, we pay NYU, we pay Mount Sinai, they use the money, we pay them to hire the doctors. The doctors then work in the hospitals. So most public systems do this. It's just a more efficient way of employing doctors than to have them be direct city employees.
Okay, thank you. So I'm moving on to my colleagues, Majority Whip, Brooks Powers. Are you on? You ready?
There we go. Hi, Dr. Katz. It's
Hello.
always great to see you.
Nice to
And
see
to my
you.
colleagues, thank you. I wanted to touch on an issue that's very pressing on the Rockaway Peninsula. As you know, Dr. Katz, we held an emergency town hall in Rockaway yesterday pertaining to Neponsit, which while it's in Councilmember Ariola's district, the majority of the patients are from within my district. And for 36 years, the Neponsit Adult Day Health Care Center has been a vital resource for Rockaway's senior community. providing medical care, therapy, and a space for social connection. Its proposed closure is deeply concerning, and we must ensure that the needs of our seniors remain the top priority in any decision made. My first question is Health and Hospital requesting any funding to support the continued operation of this facility?
Not at the current time, council member.
Okay, and the new Gotham Health Center in Far Rockaway will provide primary care to local residents. Could this facility take on some of the Neponsit Center's services to ensure seniors continue receiving care?
Absolutely, we could provide healthcare services to people, but it's not an adult day health center.
Health and Hospital has cited low enrollment as a key concern for closing the facility. How many patients would the facility need to serve in order to keep it open? I will say this was a very contentious question last night. We did not get, I think, a good answer. And so I would like to hear from you.
Well, I don't know that it's as straightforward as how many people. Maybe we could take a step back and talk about the program. 20 years ago, there were many adult day health centers in New York City. There aren't many now. Why is that? Because healthcare models change and what people think are the best ways to care for people change over time. And that is what's happened in the adult day health center world. When the programs were created, the criteria include that somebody must be sick enough to need skilled nursing care. So these are not programs for older seniors who need more socialization, who need a place to go, who need a hot meal, who need help with activities of daily living. Those are not skilled nursing needs. So you have to have a skilled nursing need. On the other hand, you have to be well enough to get on a van or have somebody transport you to it. And so I think over time, the reason these programs have so declined in number is that most people have decided that they would prefer to get the care that they need at home. There is and it's true of Neponsit, there is a group of people for whom this is a great option, and they love it, and nobody is questioning, the fact that there is a number of people for whom this is the right option. And I know that it's also for the people who work there, it is for the people for whom it's right, it works very well. But in general, because of the level of state regulations about it, the requirement, for example, unlike our senior centers, which are wonderful in the city, on a senior center, if you're a senior, if you want to go Monday and Thursday, you go Monday and Thursday. You don't make any commitment that you're going a minimum of days, whether you want to or not. And it doesn't have the segregation of you must have the skilled nursing need, and it doesn't have the expense of the skill. I mean, again, we love our nurses. They are highly skilled. They are the people you want assessing you for shortness of breath. They're the people they want for if you need your vital signs checked on a frequent basis, if you have wounds. But what I think the world has decided, and I'm, as someone who took care of his 100-year-old father to his death in an apartment near mine, is that most people want to stay at home, and what they want is their custodial needs met. And again, I don't want to in any way discount the people who love the center and for whom it is the right thing. But as a broad strategy, adult day centers are just not as flexible as senior centers focusing on socialization or home services. And I feel that's the reason why there used to be a lot of these and there are not a lot of these now. And this particular one does have challenges, including that we don't own the building. There have just been a number of challenges. So, like a lot of complex issues, I can see many sides of it. I see the people who love it. I see the people who like working there. But I also see, the change that's occurred over time in how people view the right levels of service. So I don't know if that jives or doesn't jive with some of the things you've heard, but that's my big picture view of it.
So, and I will say that the presenter last night did not give any alternatives in terms of like the community wanted to know, well, if we got the census up, what is that number to be able to keep this facility open? But what you just said leads into my next question was, has Health and Hospital explored keeping the facility open under a different operational model, such as a partnership with a nonprofit or another healthcare provider? Because again, and we've been working really closely together over the last several years, and you know how I look at healthcare, less about dollars and cents and more about lives. And so this is a much needed service for people in our community, which, as you know, because you've come a number of times at this point, geographically isolated. A 55-minute ride from Rockaway looks very different. I don't think there is a true 55-minute ride, because just to get to some parts of Southeast Queens alone, it takes 45 to 50 minutes. So has Health and Hospitals begun to explore keeping that facility open, but under a different operational model?
Well, I think the operational model that makes the most sense are the senior centers that the city runs, including in Far Rockaway. And if people needed additional medical services, I think that, there would be an opportunity through the new center to provide the medical services. I think it's the legal requirements under the regs that if you're an adult day health center that you must provide skilled nursing is part of what makes it very expensive to run it, and also creates the niche that you can't be, you have to be this sick, but you can't be that sick because you can't then get on the van. And
right, because some people have like dementia, for example. I don't think that the senior centers are equipped in terms of staffing for certain conditions of individuals. So that's the challenge I think we run into on that.
Right.
And another concern was the lack of sufficient outreach. So the community questions, how committed Health and Hospitals may have been to really keeping it open, because there were several instances where enrollment had stopped. So one was, I think, in like 2017 or 2018. And in another one, obviously COVID, we know things were closed, and then it opened back up and started to slowly ramp back up. But as recent as 2023, there were people at the town hall last night that said when they called to enroll, they were told that there was no more enrollment taking place. And so while the way it was presented last night was that this is bleeding money and it's not a proper model, because, it's just draining resources. In Rockaway, we have a really large senior population. We probably have some of the highest density in terms of nursing homes and senior centers and that population. And so with the proper marketing, I believe that it would be more than the number that exists today. And there obviously is a need for it, a desire for it. And then we have challenges that I think, just like as we talk about the trauma hospital, the way we look through that lens, that we are geographically isolated, and it makes it much more challenging for someone to say, well, I'm going to drop my parent off at this facility 55 minutes away for 8 o'clock and have to be to work at 9 o'clock, was an example used last night. So I would love to be able to work with my colleagues in government, as well as you, Dr. Katz, to find a solution to this. But at this time, I do not believe that closure of Neponset is in the best interest of the residents on the peninsula and nearby Brooklyn, because I do understand that people do come over the bridge from Brooklyn, Howard Beach, and Broad Channel to use this facility as well. But I think we need to have a more comprehensive approach. And Chair Narcisse, I would love the opportunity if we can be able to maybe do a hearing specific on this. But right now, as we're talking about the preliminary budget, I want to make sure that we're taking into account this population that is at severe risk of losing critical service on the peninsula.
Thank you. And one of the things I may add is a follow-up understanding of what's going on. City PAP was the program where a family members can take care of their family at home. And now we have a threat with that City PAP, people not being qualified. So facility like the one that my colleagues mentioned will be beneficial to our community while we closing City PAP. A lot of folks not being qualified, and they need the skill care, they need the nurses, they need people to assess them, they need someone to give them insulin, and they don't have no family members, and then at least they can get out and they go back home. So what your understanding of what I'm saying?
Again, I think, again, there's no right or wrong answer to this question. There are always more services that we could provide to people. The only thing I could say, and this is a budget hearing, is all the money is spent. So it becomes at any point in time, all things are a zero-sum game. We can do more of this and less of that. That's how our budget works. PAP, for example, yes, some of the people in PAP may have a skilled nursing need. They could be eligible for this so long as they're willing to go on a van. If they have no one to do their insulin, then they can't really go to this, because who's going to do their insulin when it's not Monday through Friday? This program actually only works, and again, it has to do with the niche of it. You can't be in this program unless you have an incredibly loving family, because it's an incredible intensive program that runs Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So if you have that level of intensity need that you qualify for the skilled nursing need, then who's doing it when it's not 9 to 5?
No,
so again,
because
there are people for whom, and I think the Majority Whip has a good example. If you were a family that was incredibly supportive and loving, and you had a job, and the job was 9 to 5, and your person could go on the van, that would be someone for whom this program is a very good choice. But again, there's a reason. Think about, we have 11 acute care hospitals, we have 4 skilled nursing facilities, we have 40 outpatient clinics. How many of these do we have? Do any of you have one in your district? No. This particular model, again, and I don't in any way denigrate the people for whom it works. It's wonderful for the people for whom it works. It's just not a very broad model, and it comes because of the state's requirements about what must be provided. Even fully enrolled, there's a loss. Now, many of our services have a loss. In fact, all our services have a loss. So as long as if we as a group of people decide this is the service, but then it begs the question of, why do we have only one of them? If what we're deciding is this is the thing that matters, why do we have one? And I recognize that closing something is very different than not opening something. I understand how that works. But it's true that we have not tried to promote enrollment because we made a decision that, given that we did not own the building, we had increases in rent. It's a large subsidy for a very small number of people in a service we don't provide to everyone. And generally, we try, because we're a government thing, generally I feel if I'm providing something, it should be available to everybody. And I do think, Majority Whip, that's part of why I am so passionate about the trauma center. Because I say, well, but it's not fair that people on Far Rockaway don't have access to it. But in some way, this is the opposite side of the coin. This is something that exists in Far Rockaway that doesn't exist anywhere else. So it doesn't have, for me, the same equity argument, again, I don't want to in any way diminish that if you fit this criteria, this is the right program. But in general, the world has closed these programs because the number of people for whom it's the right program has become too small. And I feel for the people who like it. And again, I'm all about, consensus decision making. If we as a city are deciding this is the thing, then you can always count on me to be there. But in general, it hasn't, because of the small number of ones we run, it hasn't felt that way, that this was the thing that we were making our mark to.
I'm sorry, Chair, if I could just ask a follow-up question.
Quickly, because our colleague's waiting.
Thank you, sorry. Just in terms of the location that we have right now, my understanding is that Health and Hospital is still in contract, at least there. Can you just confirm, when does that lease expire? Will Health and Hospitals have to break that contract in order to close the facility, and what would that cost be as well? And that I'll conclude there. And Dr. Katz, I can follow up with you offline. And thank you again.
Yeah, I'll have to get back. I know that, we have discussed the closure of this program for several years, and we obviously, while we're following the process, including the state and community, and so as long as we have not concluded the process, we're paying our rent and keeping the lease. At some point, the assumption was that we're going to end the lease, but I don't know I don't know what the termination of the lease is. I know that we've been discussing this for several years.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Katz, for answering. Now, moving to my Deputy Speaker, Ayala.
Hello. How
Nice
are
to
you?
see you.
I ran up here just because I wanted to see you.
Oh,
So I
thank
texted
you.
you earlier, and I had a question, and I was hoping to get a little bit more clarity on this. I'm here representing Metropolitan Hospital and Lincoln Hospital specifically. At Metropolitan Hospital, we have a need for a new emergency room.
Agreed.
I think the estimates were upwards of $65 million. Lincoln has a host of their own capital needs as well. But we've been trying, to solicit funding from, federal government, from the state, and haven't really gotten anywhere. And then it occurred to me, has there been a specific ask? Like how does Health and Hospitals submit their list of priorities for capital work? And is Metropolitan even on that list?
So, I remember even when you were visiting, we've brought through Congress people to try to
Yeah.
get, in the years when there
Yeah.
were federal appropriations to try to get, and it seemed like we had the ear, and then they ended those federal appropriations. So, I don't have an answer on that. Certainly the federal government is not looking currently like we stand much chance. So I think
Is Health and Hospitals submitting a list of priority capital jobs to the administration?
to the city.
Yes, to the city, yes.
Yes, absolutely.
So where on that list is Metropolitan, if it
I
even
don't
is
think
on the list?
We do not normally number the list.
Okay.
We provide the list, and I think the estimated need, strictly on the basis of projects like Met ED, which are buildings that are beyond their usefulness, is how many billion?
I think 16, isn't it?
16 billion, which is just to say, so many of our buildings are, beyond the usual length of time, the elevators,
Yeah.
the heaters, the coolers. So, at any given year, we submit the list to OMB of things that we need, and Met is on it. I don't know whether what Lincoln most needs is a new outpatient building. That may not be on it simply because that's sort of a new thing, and most of what we go to OMB for are how do we, run our existing buildings in a good way.
Yeah.
But Med is on it.
I mean, we find, millions of dollars in capital funds for so many other things. I can't think of a better way to spend it than on public health. And
Strangely, neither can I.
and the idea that this is an emergency room that has the capacity to see just 25 patients, but then they have, can have up to 50 in a night and not have places to put them because there just isn't anywhere. And the fact that that also has created kind of a level of distrust from the community, right? Because they equate the way that the hospital looks with the quality of care that they're going to receive. And that's unfortunate because what I see is that by comparison, when you go to Mount Sinai Hospital, which is a private hospital, in the emergency room, we have 4 or 5 rows of patients because they're overpopulated and they've already extended like 3 times and can't keep up with the demand. But we could really be, moving those patients over to Met if we had the capacity to do that. So this is like a really, is a priority project for me. And I just, if you could kindly figure out where on the, on the list, because you may not put a number on it, but when I'm looking at a list, I'm assuming that the first few are the priority.
Okay.
And so.
Well, let's work on it. I mean, I have a tremendous love for Met Hospital. It is our most loving hospital, and has a great relationship with the surrounding community and excellent physicians and nurses, and doesn't have the havoc of some of the trauma centers.
That's right.
Right, so that it's a more controlled environment where you can generally provide more family-centered, patient-centered care without, one ambulance after another coming in with a shooting or,
Absolutely.
I'm very supportive of the hospital. We've had a huge success in making them our rehab center for exactly that reason. It's the thing that hospital does super, super well, because it doesn't have to deal with the car accidents and the huge traumas. So I would love to get a new emergency department for Met. So I'll go back after this and
because
look
if not,
again.
Carlina and Mercedes and I are gonna have to go to the front of your office and start singing, "Mitch better have my money."
All right. Well, the 3 of
I
you
don't
would
wanna do
always
that.
be welcome.
I don't wanna do that, Mitch.
All right. We'll work
Thank
on that.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy. Don't get, because, that's, yeah, we cannot fight Dr. Mitch. Guys. No, we can't. Now, my colleague Palladino have questions.
Thank you, Chair. I want to thank you all for coming here. This is a very, very important issue. The mental health, drug addiction, and all of that. Is my mic working or not? Wait. There we go. I didn't press hard enough. Okay. I want to go back to what we talked about earlier when I first came into this meeting. And the homeless situation, the drug addiction, and the day patients. You brought up how we used to have these centers some 20 and 30 years ago, where if you were a drug addict, you were able to go away for 30 days, get the proper care. Then there was outpatient, it was follow-up. And there were also a great many things like the 12-step program and such. I don't see any of that today. And I know you did say how times have changed, but drug addiction has not changed. If you're drug addicted, you were drug addicted 40 years ago, you're addicted to drugs today. I worry about my kids. I worry about the kids in this city. When I see injection sites that are open, the accessibility to be able to get these substances now, whether you go to a vending machine so that you can inject safely. I can't wrap my head around that. So while we're very concerned about we're in crisis mode, you bet we're in crisis mode. We're in crisis mode because we have allowed this all to become legalized in order to make it safer. No, we're supposed to try to cure the problem. So now, I'm going to stay on subject here. How many homeless people are there in the city of New York right now?
There are, best estimate, I'll tell you the number I know best because of the Bridge to Home. There are 1,000 seriously mentally ill people who are living on the street.
1,000.
1,000.
Okay.
The number of homeless people, I believe, is 55,000. Am I remembering? I think plus minus 55,000 people are homeless
Yes.
in New York City, and they vary
Right.
from the people who are economically homeless, as
Right.
in I got evicted yesterday,
Correct.
to the people who've been homeless for years with addiction issues.
Yeah, there's so many different.
Right.
I've often said that there's so many different stages of homelessness. It's those who just choose to drop out. There's those who are drug addicted and can't hold a job. And I just want to say this. Back in my day, for lack of a better word, my family member was a heroin addict. I've got first-hand experience with dealing with a heroin addict. And he was a heroin addict till he was 37 years old. He started at age 15. This was my older brother. He's now gone. And that's okay. He lived a good life because he straightened himself out through family, like you brought up, strong family. I was that go-to person. So I want to say there's a place in Queens. It's very well known. It was shut down a number of years ago when Willowbrook hit the paper and the state came and closed a great many hospitals. It was a very good facility. It was called Creedmoor back in its day. And it was called the Creedmoor Campus. Now the state owns Creedmoor. And Creedmoor right now is in the middle of regentrifying part of it. It's 100 acres. On that 100 acres, there are 2 buildings. Actually, they're one building, but they come down, they're adjoined. And that's got, now we're talking about money and where's it going and how we could put it to good use. If we were to, that Creedmoor can hold 20,000 beds. I have a girlfriend who was a head nurse at Creedmoor many years back. And she maintained a drug addiction, 4 floors. You could eat off the floors. The facility was an amazing place. They had tennis, they had a pool, there was a set place for people to go. Now we understand that there are those who need to go in, stay 2 or 3 months and be released and acclimate them back into society, as they should be, because they're not criminals. I get very upset when they misconstrue, mental health and people who are criminals. You can't go to jail and get treated. It's just not going to happen. You need a facility to go to. Creedmoor offered several different variations on how we could treat those people. So my question, I guess, for the city and the state of New York is, while we are investing billions of dollars, millions or hundreds of millions of dollars, why don't we look into what I'm talking about, which was closed? It's going to take money to redo the insides, gut it, and do it. But in the end, you have a standing building that has nothing wrong with it, structurally. And you go in and we do what needs to be done. And we could actually, with 20,000 beds, we have a place for people to go in their different stages of their life, whether they could ever be removed, there's a facility. If they're drug addicts and they need a place to go, there's a facility. There's care that they could go back to that place. You're talking about a van that drives around. Well, that's very good, yes. But I want to you got to get to it's a tree. We got to get to the bark of the tree, the roots of the tree. And the way to do that is through a facility called Creedmoor. I just want to open that door for you, because long before I became an elected, I often said, what are we doing here? Now, on the other part of Creedmoor campus, the governor has given to the city through leasing, where they're planning to put housing and stores and a new school and all of that. But I want to know, what are we doing for the most vulnerable? What are we doing for the most helpless who don't have good family that they could go to? There is a support. It's called Creedmoor. Let's spend some money wisely and redo the insides of this facility and get this facility up and running. And I promise you, we got 55,000. We got home for 22,000 of that 55. We really need to look into this and examine those 2 buildings that are on the side heading east on the Cross Island Parkway, Grand Central Parkway. And if you would come to Queens, you're probably familiar with it. It's not my district, but I would love to show you what could be done if we spent our money wisely, because we could really help people here.
Right. You don't have to convince me. I believe in residential substance treatment. I think there are many people for whom that is the only thing that's going to work, because
Yes.
many people do not have the loving sister that you were. They just don't have the assets in their family life.
I know, and these are the people
get
that
them.
need the help.
Right.
And if we have, I see some non-for-profits taking up some buildings, and I donate, I give, through my funding, I fund them. But the bottom line is, they're not helping more than 10 people, 20 people. I'm going to stop. I'm over my time. I'm sorry. I'm looking to really do a broad rehab on the city's homeless situation and the drug addiction and everything. There are problems, but there is no such thing as a problem. There are solutions. I promise you. And
agree.
I don't stop until I get it. Thank
Keep
you very
going.
much. I will. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member. Now, that's all right. You're very passionate, and it's life experience, so I can understand. Now we have my colleagues, Ms. Rivera.
Thank you very much. Good to see you
Nice
all.
to see you.
I just want to thank you for your work on pediatric CPEP. I know you're really trying your best with the resources that you have, and I want to be supportive to that, as well as the baby box program. I think there's something to be said about the universal free lunch model and how just making something available to everyone sort of, will level the playing field as much as possible. I think that's important. And I know there are many mothers in this council, and maybe some of them are experts, but I think as you're starting out, as I've learned, you feel like you don't know what you're doing. So support is really, really helpful, especially when it comes from the wonderful professionals inside of health and hospitals. And Bellevue is number one. So I'm just gonna say it. It's great. And I'll ask about skilled nursing facilities in a second, but just to focus on Bellevue, I have to bring up that we're losing a hospital just down the street from Bellevue. We're losing Mount Sinai Beth Israel. On February 24th, a state Supreme Court judge ruled that Mount Sinai Beth Israel's campus would be permitted to close, so they're slated to close March 26th of this month, 2025. As part of the conditions for closure, they'll be operating a temporary urgent care clinic on East 14th Street, and that's in an attempt to maintain continuity of care, which is very, very important. But another condition for the closure is that Mount Sinai will be providing funding to Bellevue Hospital to renovate its emergency department and to purchase new equipment. So my questions are, how much money will Bellevue be receiving from Mount Sinai? What specifically will it be used for? Are there other crucial services that were being offered at Beth Israel that should be made available at other nearby hospitals? And do you anticipate additional funding needed to manage patient care on an ongoing basis?
Right. So 28 million is what the Mount Sinai agreed in order to get the state to agree to allow them to close. And the 28 million is 15 million to expand the capacity of the Bellevue ED, including the CPEP and the ambulance bay. 1.5 million for us to purchase a CT scanner, because one of the things that we noted, when the state was talking to us, I worked hard to try to figure out what were the things that most slow us from being able to figure out whether a person needed to be admitted or discharged. And CT scanner, not that we don't have one, but the volume is so great that people were waiting. So another CT scanner. So it's 1.5 to purchase it, and 4 million in order to install it, because the installing requires construction of the radiology suite. And then, and because I knew this was going to happen quickly, I asked the state to require that they put $2.5 million a year to respite beds. You might say, why respite beds when it's the hospital that's closing? because at any one time there are people at Bellevue waiting for the next step who could go, they can't go home. They're not able to do their activities of daily living. So I can't discharge them, but they no longer need acute care. So if I could send them someplace where they would be fed and dressed and supported, then I could open up those beds without any new construction, because constructing new beds is so expensive and time consuming, right? I mean, it can take you 3 years to open up 25 new beds.
Yeah.
So, so we asked them for money to do that. I think to your question of, you know, what is the, you know, the need likely, or where it won't surprise the members of the council that it's the mental health that concerns me, and it's a sort of convoluted New York State answer. So when I first asked about Beth Israel, I thought, do you have a mental health ward? And the answer is no. It's all at the Rivington. So I'm like, oh, okay, good. So I don't have to worry. No, I have to worry. Why? Because the state, when they built Rivington, would not allow them to have a CPAP, an emergency room, without a medical emergency room. So they couldn't build Rivington. In my ideal, Rivington would have been a mental health hospital with a mental health emergency room. But you can't blame them for that. That's in, I checked, that's in state regs. You can't have a CPAP, a mental health emergency room, unless you also have a medical emergency room. So therefore, there is none. So therefore, everyone who would have, while they had no beds at Mount Sinai, they had a CPAP at Mount Sinai. And so now, overwhelmingly, those people are likely to come to us. And, right, and you know that that's already been, you know, Bellevue is our busiest hospital for mental health care. And that CPAP, you know, the volume is amazingly dramatic of people who are really impaired at the point. So
How do you accommodate that?
well, so I mean the portion of the 15 million will be used to expand the physical CPAP. We will try to hire as many mental health clinicians as we can. I don't need additional dollars for the clinical care because well, at least unless all of Medicaid is cut by the federal government, which is a different issue that for us to discuss at some point. But at this moment, right, the operational costs I can cover. So I've been more worried about just the physical facilities and whether or not we will be able to do it. And I mean, as you know, they're incredibly talented people. But that is the thing that I worry the most about. Rivington has agreed, you know, that they would take a similar number of patients as they would have taken from Mount Sinai. So, you know, but all of them will have had to go through our medical emergency department at Bellevue first. So I'd say that's the group that I particularly worry about, to your question. There will, in general, when hospitals close, history has been that there's more scatter than the map would tell you. When you look at the map, most people say, okay, well, what is the nearest hospital? But it turns out people's lives are complicated, and they don't necessarily go to the nearest hospital, which would be Bellevue. So, you know, until it actually happens, we won't know. But when it comes to the seriously mentally ill, I think they're all going to go to Bellevue. Okay. And I think that could pose really tremendous challenges, made worse, of course, by the challenges just hiring sufficient mental health staff.
Well, I thank you for that. I know there's the emergency department you're addressing, you're trying to expand your facilities there. It's just, it's rough because you're gonna see that influx in your ED. And I had a constituent who was in the ED for 8 days recovering from a respiratory issue, waiting to be admitted to the hospital. And you all really make miracles in that space. I'm in Bellevue Hospital all the time. I pass that ER all the time. So that ED. So I just wanted to thank you for your work. And then just one more question, Madam Chair, if I can. It's not, and it's because it's a budget hearing. It's really more of an offer as to how do we help you all advocate for. I think the thing that I'm seeing now, just apart from the hospital closure, is we have many of our constituents calling, asking how to take care of their parents, right? I think no one prepares you for taking care of your own parents. And there aren't many nursing facilities that take, Medicaid, or really the amount of assistance there is limited. And I know you have a few locations, skilled nursing beds. People have received great care at Gouverneur from my district, just amazing care. But I also know that it's very, very hard to provide that, especially with a growing, the aging population that we have. So I just want to be of assistance in how we can effectively advocate to help you all as you see more people come in who are in need of long-term memory care and issues like that. So just wanted to be of service and say thank you for what you do.
Thank you, and it's a good issue, and I'll talk more with my colleagues, in the Department of Aging, because what you say is absolutely true. Each family sort of learns it anew, right? It's very, very challenging to do it well.
Thank you. Now, my colleague, Mr. Ressler, council member.
Thank you so much, Chair Narcisse. I really appreciate your leadership of this committee, and it is always good to see Dr. Katz. I'm old enough to remember, I think Deb and Mydell are too, when H&H was going to ruin the finances of New York City. And then you came to town, and ever since we've had smooth sailing.
Thank you.
You are a leader that I hope transcends many, many administrations. You're a treasure, and we're lucky to have you at the helm of H&H.
Thank you.
We have a new school that people are trying to build in Greenpoint, so I'm multitasking. I apologize, but you have most of my attention. There are a couple things I just wanted to touch on today. First is, just briefly, the Medicaid cuts would be absolutely devastating for our public hospitals. I think it's, if they were to fully fulfill these cuts, 10% Medicaid cuts nationally, could be even worse. We would no longer be in the black, as you have been through the first 6 months of this fiscal year. Can you speak just briefly to the scope of impact of the Medicaid cuts?
From what they're discussing, it could certainly be hundreds of millions of dollars to us. The two facts that I think help people understand why it would be so difficult. 85% of our budget is people. So, cuts has to mean fewer people taking care of people.
Right.
And the other, in part, the success that you refer to will also make dealing with cuts harder, because part of the success was to stop subsidizing for-profit health insurance companies, which is what New York City was doing when I arrived, by not enrolling people, not billing them correctly, not appealing decisions, not documenting them correctly, so that the insurance companies were off the hook. And part of what I did is say, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to learn how to bill appropriately, not excessively, and not patients. I'm interested in billing insurance companies. But because of that success, we now earn about 80 cents on the dollar for any service. So in order for me to cut a dollar, I have to cut $5. Right, there's almost nothing that is a service that we do that doesn't generate revenue in some way, and I've insisted on that because that's in all the cities I've worked. That's always been my model: is you have to, if you want something sustainable, build revenue into it.
Right.
But then, if your revenue suddenly drops, you have to close much more in order to.
Do you think
meet the
that would
cuts.
mean we'd have to close facilities?
If
These cuts were to come forward at their full...
We would, if the cuts came through forward, we would certainly have to constrain services.
Okay.
Whether it's the buildings or the service model, I don't know, and it would depend on, it would depend on how large is the cut, how much, is the state prepared. I mean, the state does have reserves. Medicaid dollars flow through the state.
Sure.
Does the state choose to use reserves hoping for a better time or not? What is the city's situation? But I think it would certainly cause the need to constrain the services that we provide.
All right. I want to try and get to a couple more questions if I can. So, I've been laser focused on the outposted therapeutic units. My recollection is that Bellevue was supposed to be done in 22. Then it was going to be done in 23. Then it was going to be done in 2024. And
It's
Patsy,
done.
Patsy, if I remember correctly, the last time we had you here, we had a quote to the effect of, as soon as the units are completed, the city is ready to operationalize them. So Dr. Katz says we're done.
The unit is ready.
Where are the people?
So, as Dr. Katz said, for Bellevue, Health and Hospitals did bring it in. We were just a couple of weeks late. We have our certificate of occupancy.
Great.
Construction's completed.
It's 103 people?
104. 104
okay.
beds. CHS has its staffing pattern in place.
Great.
With sufficient notice to our staff. We're ready to move with our patients.
What is DOC saying?
We are working with the Department of Correction and the administration as to when the unit could actually be
So
operational.
could you just tell me again exactly when did you get the certificate of occupancy?
February. Last
February,
month.
so last month.
Yeah, last
So
month.
we are just waiting.
Yep, we finished construction in January, and DOB issued the occupancy certificate.
And
last
help
month.
me at Bellevue and NCB, which thanks to leadership from yourself and Deputy Mayor, at least for now, and Williams Isom, we were able to get the therapeutic outposted units back on track at NCB and at Woodhull. Are those moving forward?
So NCB and Woodhull, the administration gave us the approval to restart last year.
Okay.
And the status of those two projects, Health and Hospitals is accelerating to bring them both in on time together. And the last estimate was 2027. We are in design. We are awaiting feedback from the Department of Correction as to design. Once that final approval of design is received, then Health and Hospitals can proceed with the contracting for construction.
If we still don't have design resolved
We do not.
in 2025,
We do not.
that means we're not going to achieve 2027 completion. So we're already off track of the announcement from this past year.
Construction is estimated to take about 25 months. That's after we get contractors in place, and that cannot happen until we have a document to
It's a
put out on the
stain
street.
on our city that Rikers is the third largest psychiatric facility in the country, the largest in the state. There are people who have critical acute medical needs that should be served in healthcare settings. Should have 350 beds available to them. We have 104 that are sitting empty today at Bellevue, and instead those people are rotting in Rikers Island. And so Mayor Adams, who I don't always agree with, has spoken eloquently about the need for these facilities, about the need for more mental health beds for the people who are in DOC care, the need for exactly this model. And we need leadership at City Hall to tell DOC to do their jobs. It's incredibly disappointing to hear that we're encountering further delays on a model that that is fully funded, that is ready to go. It just doesn't make any sense. Chair, can I ask one more question? Or you need me to go? I'm done. That's it. One question. Thank you. I'm very excited about Bridge to Home. I'm really pleased. I know this has been a priority of yours, Dr. Katz, for many years. I know that there was an announcement earlier this week to expand the number of beds by, I believe, 100, if I got that right. Or there was an expansion announced earlier this week. So still, 250 people, is that the idea that we're going to serve at any time?
The Bridge to Home is 100, but then there was an announcement about a respite program.
Respite program that
Right.
you're that you're going to be
Yes,
helping with as well.
yes, yes.
Okay, all good stuff. But could you, just for scale, if you have this, approximately how many people are discharged annually from H&H facilities who are unhoused? or how many discharges? Do you have that
I
data?
don't, I know.
Could
no,
you give
but
me a ballpark?
Well, the ballpark that I always go on is that there are 1,000 people unhoused with serious mental illness in New York City. And part of what I think is interesting is that's not an impossible number, 1,000, right? I mean, the number of homeless people, as we've talked about, 55,000, much larger and very heterogeneous.
84,000 people slept in a shelter last night,
Right.
just to put a
Right.
finer point on it.
But it's heterogeneous, right? It's
Totally.
economic to,
100%.
but
Domestic
the group
violence.
of people who are, you know, in my view, really not getting what they need, and meanwhile costing the city huge amounts of money while they're not getting what they need. Are these seriously mentally ill, living on the street? I can't imagine how much each one cost the city if you added up all of the visits and the police and the Rikers.
And I think that the bridge to home and the respite care models are good and worthy things to help those people stabilize, and it is great that we're investing in them. But we also need to do a much better job of ensuring that every single day, as people are being discharged from health and hospitals and other hospitals, but especially health and hospitals because you serve the most vulnerable, that we actually provide warm handoffs to our homeless outreach organizations to get those people directly into safe havens, to get them into care so they're not just being sent back out on the street.
Right.
And if we can do a better job of actually not allowing the front door of our hospital to be the place where we're just sending people out to go right back out on the street or trains, we will be addressing this much more effectively. So I know Chair Narcisse is going to kick me if I keep talking.
I agree.
Dr.
Thank you.
Katz, thank
Nice
you.
to see
Dr.
you.
Yang, good
Thank
to see you both.
Thank you. And some of my questions you asked, so that was we're okay. We're okay. All right, coming back. The New York State fiscal 2026 executive budget process, the discontinuation of the state's indigent care pool payments for the city's public hospitals. The state's share of this ICP payment total of $56.7 million. This action reflects New York City Health and Hospitals seeking to receive Medicaid funding at the average commercial rate for New York City, which would be a significant increase to the system. We know that the state submitted its DPT request on December 23rd, 2024. The council is seeking a change to that. The nearly 57 million reduction would only go into effect if the Medicaid reimbursement were approved or are covered by alternate forms of Medicaid funding. Can you please provide any further update on the state's DPT request, as it has been approved yet? What are the challenges throughout this process?
So it has not been approved yet. It's sitting at CMS. We don't have any further information on when they will approve it. We can tell you that they have approved similar arrangements like this for other states. We're not asking for something that has not been
done.
approved in other
Okay.
places,
Okay.
but we have not heard anything from them.
Okay. Starting in 2020, the state started intercepting 150 million of the city's sales tax revenue for a distressed hospital fund. This intercept was intended to be temporary, but still remains. Our understanding that despite the deep needs of the H&H, who serve as our public hospital, H&H hospitals do not qualify for these funds. We are essentially funding a distressed hospital fund that largely subsidizes and supports hospitals outside of the city. Since the creation of this intercept, has H&H ever received reasoning from the state as to why our public hospitals do not qualify for the distressed hospital fund? Do you believe that our public hospitals would benefit from having access to the fund, for this funds?
We receive no funds.
No?
We would certainly appreciate it, but we receive none.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Can you please provide any further update to the state DPT request? Has it been approved yet? Is there a deadline?
Has not been approved, and it's at CMS, so it's their deadlines, not ours. They get to decide.
So the deadline is, okay. Okay, moving to the federal. This is a fun one for federal. Federal funding makes up less than 0.5% of H&H fiscal 2026 preliminary budget. Despite the small percentage of federal funding, does the administration foresee any financial challenges for H&H arising from potential federal budget cuts? How would any reductions to Medicaid and federal dollars impact H&H budget?
I'm so glad you asked this because it's important to clarify.
I guess someone gonna help us to get federal one.
When you-
Okay.
Okay, we appreciate that. But remember, when you're sitting as the budget committee, you're looking at the city's budget. But most of our money comes separate. We are mostly a revenue department, right? Most of our funding is not from the city, only a minority. So you're not seeing any of our Medicaid revenue. So we receive a huge part of our budget from the federal government. If what you define as the federal government includes Medicaid, Medicare, right? I mean, we receive a small number of direct federal grants, and that's what you're seeing. But that's not what's funding health and hospitals. What's funding health and hospitals, Medicaid, Medicare revenues, and other dollars. So if we do have, major cuts, and again, because there is currently no legislation, it's impossible to estimate what we could, be affected by. But we're certainly very, very worried, given the size of the cuts that are being talked about, that we could be hundreds of millions of dollars out for our services. Again, the money flows through the state, so how,
The state.
yes,
Yeah.
The feds give the state the money.
And the
the
money
state-
trickles down.
There you
Right.
go. And why don't we examine what the state gives the city from the federal government?
But the state is not
Well,
getting.
like
So
the federal
we can go back and forth, but the state is not getting to. So they already have a threat. We're talking about 56 point something million now. That we already talking about. Okay, colleague, yes, you can advocate, but let's stay focused. Let's stay focused. Yeah. Sorry.
No. So, I mean, I think, we will, if there are these kinds of cuts, your committee and the city council in general, we will all work together to figure out how to get through it with the least harm to the people that we take care of. But again, all we do is services.
Yes.
We don't make anything. So, smaller budget means fewer services. There's no way around that possibility. So I hope that the cuts are not as
Deep.
horrible or deep as what people say. And then again, we don't, if you look at a private healthcare system, you'll find that most maintain 6 months of cash.
You only have 18 months?
We have 15 days.
15 days.
Right, and that's okay with me, because the way I view it is our patients have needs today. Right, we're not trying to save money, and as a government institution, if we save money and had to put away, the state would just give us less. They would just say you have a reserve, and since the need is there, it makes sense to meet the need. But if the budget shrinks, there's just going to have to be less service. There is no way around it. There's nothing that we do that is not service. We don't have a planning function. We don't produce something. We're doctors, nurses, social workers. We take care of people. If there's less money, we're going to have to provide less care. There's just no, and we also both our salary structure is fixed by the city's union contracts, and frankly, there's no great value in paying people less than the going rate, because all that happens is people leave. So you're, again, when you think about it from a financial point of view, if your salary structure is fixed and all you do is service, and you're going to get hundreds of millions less, you're going to have to provide less service. There's just no other way around it. There's no other solution.
Trying to get a question situated here. So you only have 18 days cash flow?
Correct.
How many days? 18?
18. It varies by the day. That question can be answered every day, and it could be different because when we get what's the best we've had recently, James?
Maybe like 40 days.
40 days is like the best. So if you get a large federal check, then at that moment
Then
you're
your
40
cash
days.
flows in. Okay.
But at other times you can get quite low.
I know I used to do business with the city of New York and the state. And when the cash flow is not there, you cannot maintain anything. In January 2025, nearly 1,000 H&H physicians who were part of the Doctors Council SEIU planned a strike in response to burnout and stagnant wages. A tentative agreement was reached between the Doctors Council and H&H to avert the strike. Thank God. The agreement includes salary increases, bonuses, restoration of cuts to sick leave hours, and contributions to existing benefit. Does the administration anticipate an increase to H&H budget to fulfill this agreement? If so, how much funding will need to be added?
So yes, I mean, it significantly increases our out-year costs. I don't know, do you have a figure, James?
So I think at the full out year, it's about $180 million for the affiliated portion of the contract.
180 million a year.
All right. H&H budget would increase because of this agreement. When will the increase take place?
So it's a graduated, and you won't see it on these particular documents, again, because these documents are the city budget and the city employees, and most of the cost of the increases are where most of the doctors are on the affiliate contracts. So it affects the size of the contracts that we have with our three big affiliates.
I hope we're still working on the hours that the doctors keep on calling me on that, Dr. Katz. I know we're not going to talk about the budget. We're not talking about the hours. We're talking about the budget, but I'm still receiving calls.
I understand.
All right. Can you please describe the efforts the administration is making to improve working conditions for physicians at H&H facilities?
Sure. I mean, being a doctor has always been a stressful job. And I think that people used to be, to use the vernacular, told to suck it up. And I think
you cannot say that anymore.
I think we now recognize that was never a very good thing to say. And because it then people, that internalized anger or bitterness, just affects other things. That's not what we want. We want people to come to work to enjoy the privilege of being able to take care of people, to make them better, and to leave whole. But we're all sort of feeling our way into what does that mean. We have opened up wellness rooms. We provide mental health counseling that is anonymous, so that you don't have to worry about disclosing it. We have a social worker at each of the hospitals dedicated to the well-being of the clinical staff. And we have I think we have changed the culture to make it not a punitive culture, but to have people understand that what we care is, do you show up, right? We all make mistakes. Every doctor has made mistakes. Every nurse has made mistakes. There's a difference between you came and you did your very best versus you didn't show up. If you didn't show up, that's not good, right? You shouldn't be part. If you showed up, you did your best, but it turned out that you made a wrong choice, well, that we're all human, and we need to recognize that if people do their best, we're not going to punish them. So I think it's definitely a work in progress. I think we all also recognize that that keeping people's mental health is not
important.
Necessarily yoga classes, much as I'm in favor of people going to
I
yoga.
love yoga classes.
Right. But I don't think I think it's how you successfully connect people with their mission and make them feel good about their job, as opposed to, okay, your job is horrible, but now for this hour we're going to do yoga. I think people realize that is not how you have to address the job. You can't say that, okay, well, now I give you an hour off to enjoy, because then you just go back to the same thing that's making you unhappy. So again, while I'm in favor of yoga and yoga classes, I highly recommend them for your health, I think for well-being, you have to address the job itself. People should feel good
About
that
the
they
job.
have their skills as a doctor, a nurse, a social worker, a phlebotomist. These are useful skills. You have them. You should feel good about it. To the extent people don't, we have to work on that. How do we as an employer help to connect people to the joy of helping people?
That's what I always say. I'm counting on you because you're a practicing doctor. You know what the residents are going through. So myself personally, being in the hospital, I'm so happy to see you all the time in that position
Thank you.
because we have to make it happen. It's a different mentality, different approach from our time.
Yes.
So mental health, they never been to COVID, they never been to all that. So mental health is real, and if your job is stressful, the fax machine, the phone ringing, they're all gonna annoy you. A patient call you twice is gonna annoy you because you are human. Mental health. So before my deputy speaker leave, I want to tell you too what she was talking about. Met. I want to talk about Elmhurst Hospital. We need to enlarge that too. We need a space. Because they keep on asking me, because Baxter Street can be closed so we can have a better ER. When I go to that ER emergency room, I feel bad for everyone that work there, and I feel bad for the patient too. We need to enlarge that. There's too many people at that ER. Where? I don't want to lose okay, I think we already asked you that. So, all right, South Brooklyn. Since I don't have no hospital in my district, South Brooklyn is the closest. In 2025-2029, preliminary capital commitment plan includes $6 million for the creation of the Collaborative Learning Center for the Practice of Medicine, a training facility for medical staff that was announced in August 2023. Is there a timeline for a completion of this facility? Is there a planned headcount? If so, can you provide it broken down by category? Is there a planned size of the facility? If so, can you provide it?
So we're $6 million short. So we're on hold at the moment. We're looking for someone. We have the good fortune that the South Brooklyn, as you know, is in the district of the minority district head of Congress, I'm hoping that perhaps we can get him to help us. He came out to the Ida G opening, which I thought was great. That despite his responsibilities as the Democratic minority leader of the entire Congress, he still made it out to the Ida G opening. But until we come up with the other $6 million, we don't have further plans.
So I'm afraid now, because that $6 million, I was part of it. Now it's part of, so it's a problem. We have to get things done.
We got it.
We got to get things done.
We got the 6.
So since we have minority leader on our side, have you made the call? That's my follow-up question.
I'm working on it.
Work hard on it. I'm gonna do my best too.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Is there a planned scope of operation of the facility? I cannot tell you because you don't have no money yet.
Exactly.
So we can think about it, dream about it, but hopefully we can land our plan. Okay, for the Rockaway. The fiscal 2025-2029 preliminary capital commitment plan includes $50 million in funding for the planned Rockaway Trauma Center. The initial estimated cost to this project was $150 million. Does the administration anticipate any additional funding being added for this project in future capital commitment plans? What types of services do you expect will be provided at the Rockaway Trauma Center?
Right, so take a step back and say the reason this is important is because as the majority whip was talking about the trauma center, it's 45 minutes with a police escort from Rockaway to Jamaica Hospital.
And we lost a life.
We lost
A
a
police-
life of a police officer. We've lost lives of other people. It's it's just the way traffic goes in New York City. What can you say about it, right? I mean, it's very isolated. You got to go across that bridge, and it's a lot of time. When somebody is bleeding, as you know, as a nurse, right, you only have seconds, minutes. You don't have 45 minutes, and you cannot. There are a lot of great things you can do in the back of an ambulance, but you can't sew up somebody's arterial line. You cannot, if they're bleeding out, they're going to bleed out, right? What they need is you got to, open the chest, open the abdomen, find the bleeder, sew it up. That's what you got to do. And you can't do it in the back of an ambulance, and you can't do it in a regular emergency room. You got to do it in the trauma center. And again, because of the isolation, we have no easy way. So Majority Whip, I think, has been incredibly effective. We have a very good site that we think is going to work quite well. That's currently a plot of land that is owned by NYCHA, but NYCHA has no plans to build on it. And the community around it is very supportive of it, and there's a provision if the community of NYCHA supports a use for NYCHA land, you can get it rezoned for other uses. It's right on Rockaway Parkway. It's right near the A stop. So it's a perfect spot in order to build it, and we're going to work on. I was on the phone with the Queens delegation about the possibility of helping us with some of the funding that's required by NYCHA in order to use the process to get the land changed over. It's about a $300,000 cost of what NYCHA has to do in order to get the land switched. So that's that's really the next year's work is. And if we secure that, I also think it's quite possible that we might find a private hospital system that's prepared to help us, because land is one of the major impediments to opening a facility. And so if we have 50 million in the bank and we have land, we might be able to find then a private hospital system that's willing to help fund it, right? Because if we think about it, when a private hospital wants to open, they have to buy the land, right? And they have to build the building. And so here we would already be saying, oh, we have the land, we have $50 million, and maybe we'll be able to match that through the state or the federal government, right? But the next critical steps financially are to obtain the $300,000 necessary for NYCHA to move the land.
Yeah. So what is the timeline to start the project? You don't know? It's still there?
I know that, as I said, I met with the Queens delegation. I know that the Majority Whip is working hard on trying to get the land. It's about a year process from start to finish. If we gave the $300,000 to NYCHA, they would then fulfill the requirements, and we believe, based on precedent, that the approval is through the federal HUD, but we believe, based on precedent, they would approve it. The land has no other intended use at the moment. There's no funded housing project due to go there, so there's no reason why. There are just a lot of requirements of things like environmental studies that are required under the federal rules in order to change the ownership and the use from NYCHA housing to a hospital trauma center.
Okay. So no survey have been done yet, or the survey is done,
You have
completed?
to do we would have to have the $300,000 to give
First.
to NYCHA.
Okay. So NYCHA is not gonna do no study for you?
Right.
Okay.
Well, they have other pressing needs. I agree.
They're not gonna do it for you, so you have to get your money. All right. What is the approximate number of patients estimated to be served by this facility if built?
Well, we're still, working on a variety of different models. We have already asked the state, because the state would need to approve both a certificate of need. We'd have to have a certificate of need to open, and exactly what their EMS commission will approve, we don't know. Yeah, I think that it is likely that we would start with the most urgent need first. So the most urgent need is a emergency department that is able to deal with trauma. Whether you build at the same time the other things that a hospital would require, or you leave them for later on, that's to be determined, and it'll depend on the funding context. But I would feel if we could at least say that we have the kind of facility and the modern facilities, and again, different than what we trained in. These days, you can have an emergency department room that can turn into an OR without any problem. Exactly. In fact, that's what we have at South Brooklyn Health, where it was newly built, where the lights and the table and the X-ray, the CT scan is right in the room. Right. I mean, very different than what most of us trained in. So you could imagine you roll the person into the emergency bay. You're already, the X-ray, CT scan is already there. The CT scan happens in the room. And if the answer is you have to open up the abdomen or you have to open up the chest, you're not going to take them to the OR. You're going to do it right then. You're going to just turn on the OR lights. So then that's what you need to build. Now, once you stop the bleeding, where that person is going to go will depend on what else you've built, right? If you have an ICU, right, then ideally they would go to an ICU. But there are also models where you might stop the bleeding and then take them by helicopter to another facility until you're able to also build the other parts. So I don't, it's very much open. I mean, I think what we all agree on is there is a very urgent life-saving need. We need to address that. How much more we can address, that's a more complicated question.
Okay. I like it. I like the new ER turned into OR system. I love it. In fiscal 2025-2029, preliminary capital commitment plan includes $28 million in funding for the Far Rockaway Primary Care Center. This new comprehensive community health center will expand access to primary care, women's health, dental, vision, and mental health services for the Far Rockaway community. The facility is expected to open in the calendar year of 2027. On February 25th, 2025, the Adams administration announced that the construction of this facility is underway. Does the administration anticipate adding any additional funding for this project in the future capital commitment plans?
We're okay. We have enough to open up the center. We're good.
Good news. Yes. What details can you provide on the planned scope of the operations of this facility? What is the planned head count for the facility? Broken down by category for me, please.
So 65 overall staff members, seeing 20,000 unique patients with an estimated 48,000 visits. You read the services, so I won't reread it. The operational is 30 million. But this is an example where most of the dollars are provided through revenue, not through the city.
I think Marmoreto had some question before I finish.
Okay, one question, a little off topic, is when an individual goes into the ER and they are homeless, what do you put down as their address?
Funny, I know that in my other two counties where we would have a specific address. I don't know the answer.
Do you put the address of the hospital? I'm just curious.
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
I'll have to find out. I don't think so. Although, as long as we're all together and friends, one of the funniest mistakes I ever saw in my 30 years of running government hospital systems was in my previous job, where they put, when someone didn't have an address, they put our office, and someone didn't realize that, sent out a mailing. And we mailed something like 50,000 pieces of mail to ourselves, right, at tremendous expense. And you could sort of see how it happened, right? They didn't have an address. The computer required an address.
Right.
They put
Well,
in
that's
an
what I'm
address.
curious about.
And then someone later said, oh, we need to send out an announcement. And no one thought to remove the people whose address was the address of our own office. And so then at tremendous expense, we sent ourselves a lot of mail.
That's
So,
interesting.
but to the best of my knowledge, that hasn't happened here in New York
Good.
City.
So I just wanted to have a conversation quickly about the two hospitals that haven't ratified their contracts, which is Jacobi and North Central. Has there been any more conversations about this?
Yes, so just so, I mean, you're up to date, but everyone might not know because it was just yesterday that Harlem ratified. So that was a relief to us.
But they're not helping us in the Bronx. These are two Bronx hospitals.
Right. So the in terms of what DC has asked is for PAGNY to meet with them, and they've said that what they wanted were clarifications. And so I'm hoping that we can meet with them and discuss, what is there. We really do not have the financial ability to provide more. I mean, you heard the large amount that is in the out years for payments. We think that the amount is fair. We always want to work with our doctors. We want happy doctors, happy nurses. But that's where we are. We have agreed to meet. We have made it clear that we've spent the dollars we have to spend. But there's always room to clarify, to try to understand what the issues are, right? I mean, it gives you hope that all the other hospitals have ratified, right? And ratification is not 50%. I think they use 70%. So overwhelmingly, our doctors have. If we were organized, say, if the doctors were organized the same as the nurses, this would have all been done the first ballot, right? So it's, we are limited in this one area where we seem to not be able to see quite eye to eye with the doctors.
Like, I can't speak for the other hospitals, but I know Jacobi and North Central, they are very hard workers and they deserve a lot. And I really hope in good faith that you could kind of come to some agreement or understanding and clarify whatever it is that they would like clarification
Me
for.
too.
I just want to follow up about our January meeting. There was like a question about wait times for patients and hiring of additional staff. Where are we with that?
I would just say in general, wait times are always hard.
Yes.
Because I always say, if you can call a primary care doctor's office tomorrow and they'll give you an appointment, don't go to see that doctor.
Yeah.
Because what kind of doctor has appointments available tomorrow, right? And the more popular you are, the busier you are.
Of course.
Right. So it gets to be a little bit of a circle. The more people think you're doing a good job, the more people who want to come. So I try to tell people don't use how long the wait, especially for primary care, as an indicator of how we're doing, because maybe we're doing a really good job and that's why people are coming. Specialty, which I think was more what you were asking in the January, is more of an issue because you're already engaged, and if you have a need, right, then that should be addressed. That being said, we continue to have workforce shortages, no question. And we're not, talking to my colleagues, even in the private sector, and you probably hear this yourself, it's not unique to us. Overcrowding, long periods of time for waits, the large number of people who call me simply to ask me to help them get an appointment in private systems, because they know all the hospital CEOs. And I pretty frequently wind up calling other places and saying, could you please help this person? So, I mean, we're doing our best. We're open to other ideas. I think the best idea we have is to try along the subspecialties to develop cross-hospital services, especially in geographic areas. This is how most systems do it.
Okay.
We're kind of unique to not do it. When I was, hospitalized at Bellevue, and I needed urologic services, the urologist who came to see me apologized for how long I had to wait and said, "We serve 9 hospitals." That is generally,
Unacceptable.
but it's what people are doing,
Yeah.
right? That was the NYU urology service. Is not so. The advantage of trying to do multiple hospitals is you generally have better coverage.
Yeah.
If you have one person and that person's out, you're like, there's no other person. So we're trying to figure out, can we do a better job of subspecialty if we say, especially within close geographic areas.
Okay.
Jacoby, a little bit of an issue because Jacoby close to NCB, not a lot, close to others. We're like a lot of our early efforts are going to be spent on Harlem, Met, and Lincoln because they're kind of a triangle of like a mile and a half apart. But not impossible to go certainly from Lincoln to Jacoby.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a ridiculous length of time. But we'll keep at it. And again, you other members have other ideas. We're open.
Okay, Madam Chair, can I just ask one last question and that's it, I promise?
That's what you get when you have
I'm sorry. I just want to talk about the asylum seeker city funding reallocation. The preliminary plan indicates that an additional $697 million in fiscal year 2026 only for asylum seekers related costs. And it's allocated funding from HRA, their budget. Can you kind of touch and explain what this money is being used for? And would you know if the money is already in HRA going towards the asylum seekers and it's just being transferred over to you to help asylum seekers, or is it being pulled from other resources and other people that it's helping at HRA?
Right, so OMB gives it to HRA, and then they...
Specifically for asylum seekers?
Yeah, I don't mean HRA, DHS. Gives it to DHS, and then DHS distributes it based on volume, which in our case is going way down. I mean, not just because of the number of asylum seekers going way down, but Health and Hospitals' role in this was always meant to be an emergency, right? The city was, you'll remember back, was getting the buses. Sometimes it would be 1,000 new people a day.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just no way for DHS, given its existing job, to now have 1,000 new people a day. And so that was, we opened the Roosevelt, we give people vaccinations, we test them for TB, we assign the kids to schools, we get them to health insurance. if
Well,
they
no,
have the
I know
right
that
thing.
you guys love the housing industry now, and that's like, looks like your lateral move that you're really trying to get into. I'm just curious, is this just for medical costs, or is this just
No,
for,
this is
this for
mostly
housing?
not medical costs.
Okay, not medical
Medical
costs.
costs is completely separate.
Okay.
The idea now is Roosevelt is going to close in June. The case management program will end in June. And the only program left we will have is the Row Hotel, because we were given the lease, we didn't negotiate the lease, and its lease goes till 2026.
Okay.
But all of it is going to move, since this is no longer an emergency, and it's not, we are not the primary group, we'll all move to DHS, and they will be able, we think now, because the numbers are more like 50 a day instead of 10,000, actually 1,000 a day. And so they should be able to do it without difficulty. So we will be out of the business come July 1, with the exception of the Row Hotel.
So what is this money for next year's budget going towards?
So this would be, again, what it is based on what is assumed to be the expenses for the people who are left in the Row Hotel.
And I think there may be additional, through the rest of the fiscal year, the exec budget, the OMB may further adjust these, numbers.
So they
But this-
could move down.
Right.
Right.
That's
So-
a lot of
or be
money.
shifted.
Right.
That's a
Right.
lot of
So
money.
OMB will always distribute it based on volume, basically, is,
Okay.
I think, the short answer.
Okay, thank you, Chair, so
you.
much, I appreciate it.
Thank you. You see, when you have medical team here
We
to ask a
appreciate
question,
it.
you take me back to the ER when you start talking about the trauma, opening, trying to close, stop the bleeding. So thank you. I love to have practitioner to be in charge of the medical part of our lives because we're in good hand, I hope, with Allstate, which is Dr. Mitch Katz.
Thank you. I
Thank you. We're in
appreciate
good hand with you. So thank you. Not a kind of advertisement for Allstate. It's just like because we appreciate your help. And Patsy, thank you. Always amazing. James, thank you for being here. And of course, Goldberg in the back. Thank you. Thank you, everything. Thank you. Oh, my beautiful. So thank you, all of you, for being here. We appreciate you. If you want to stay for the follow-up, it's up to you. But we
stay.
appreciate you to stay if you can.
I'll stay.
So I know you. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Same.
Okay, I now open the floor to public testimony. Before we begin, I remind members of the public that this is a formal government proceeding and that decorum shall be observed at all times. As such, members of the public shall remain silent at all times. The witness table is reserved for people who wish to testify. No video recording or photography is allowed from the witness table. Further, members of the public may not present audio or video recordings as testimony, but may submit transcript of such recordings to the Sergeant at Arms for inclusion in the hearing record. If you wish to speak at today's hearing, please fill out an appearance card with the Sergeant at Arms and wait for your name to be called. Once you have been recognized, you will have 2 minutes to speak on today's hearing topic regarding the preliminary budget for the 2026 fiscal year. If you have a written statement or additional written testimony you wish to submit for the record, please provide a copy of the testimony to the Sergeant at Arms. You may also email written testimony to testimony@council.nyc.gov within 72 hours of this hearing. Audio and video recordings will not be accepted. When you hear your name, please come up to the witness panel. For the first panel, we have Noel Peñas, Mackenzie Aranda, Misha Sharp. And if I do butcher your name, you can always come and tell me and correct me, please. Thank you. Sergeant, ready? You may begin. And the first is Noel?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Noel Peñas, and I'm the Health Justice Community Organizer with NOPI, New York Lawyers for the Public Interest. At the outset, we want to thank the City Council for continuing the Immigrant Health Initiative, which has directly supported NOPI's program serving immigrant communities. I also want to thank Chair Narcisse for your ongoing partnership collaborating with advocacy for organ transplant equity. In 2024, your support through IHI has allowed us to conduct comprehensive immigration and healthcare screenings for over 100 New Yorkers through our connected more than 50 people in detention to volunteer doctors through our medical providers network, and many of our clients are also getting better care, better access to care, and moving forward with evaluations for organ transplants. Under increased immigration enforcement, we have been receiving increased requests for Know Your Rights trainings, and we've also been providing trainings on how healthcare providers can ensure safer medical spaces for patients at risk. And due to the growing complexity of immigration cases under a hostile federal administration, we are seeking a $650,000 allocation from the City Council's Immigrant Healthcare Initiative in the fiscal year 2026. This request includes the $435,000 allocated in the fiscal year 2025 and an enhancement to support the increase in need from the previous fiscal year. We also call for continued and expanded funding for public health infrastructure, including NYC Care. We are concerned that the mayor has not expanded funding or the scope of New York City Care to meet the needs of uninsured and immigrant New Yorkers. There's also a critical need to expand the medical housing support systems available to H&H patients and keeping federally qualified health centers accessible to all New Yorkers, regardless of insurance status and their ability to pay. We appreciate your leadership in defending the human rights of immigrants, and we look forward to continuing our work improving immigrant New Yorkers' access to health care. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to speak here today. This way? Better? Amazing. Thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to speak here today. My name is Mackenzie Aranda. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm here on behalf of the New York City Alliance Against Sexual Assault. The Alliance is a member of the Sexual Assault Initiative, a coalition of 5 sexual violence intervention programs that has built a citywide network of advocates, counselors, providers, serving thousands of survivors from under-resourced communities. Over the last 2 years, the Alliance conducted a mapping project revealing significant gaps in services and prevention programming for communities experiencing the highest rates of sexual violence. I'm here to highlight these gaps in New York City hospitals and ask for your support to enhance the Sexual Assault Initiative to $5 million. Through the Sexual Assault Victims Bill of Rights, every survivor is entitled to an advocate support from their local rape crisis program and the ability to receive medical treatment and forensic evidence collection from any hospital emergency department. However, despite this, over 50% of survivors in New York City are not seen by a trained sexual assault forensic examiner, and many survivors in hospital emergency departments also face a lack of advocate services, with many hospitals citing no advocate availability at all. These become increasingly true the further one goes from Manhattan. We have survivor stories highlighting wait times up to 6 hours for safe examiners, survivors being transferred again and again to multiple hospitals, and insufficient hospital staff training resulting in survivors dropping out of services altogether, or rape crisis advocates having to guide medical practitioners. With this, pediatric survivors are among the most impacted. It is clear that these gaps have deeply traumatizing and far-reaching effects on survivors. As a member of the Sexual Assault Initiative, the Alliance trains medical and human service professionals to provide trauma-informed support to survivors of sexual assault. Our initiative is funded at $2,075,000, and due to an increase in the number of survivors and the increasing gaps that we've highlighted here, we're asking for an enhancement to $2.5 million. The data from our mapping project and the survivor testimonies show the urgent need to close these critical gaps and implement systemic change in our hospital systems to better serve New Yorkers and the communities that have borne the consequences of the system's failure. Thank you for your time and commitment to this critical issue.
Thank you. Thanks.
Is this on? Great. All right. Thank you, Chair Narcisse and committee members, for the invitation to testify today. I'm the Assistant Director of Policy at 32BJ Health Fund, Misha Sharp. We provide health benefits for over 200,000 32BJ union members and their families using contributions from over 5,000 employers. Our members are the frontline workers that keep the city's buildings in order and our airports and schools running. Today, I urge the City Council to take action to ensure transparency and accountability in hospital pricing. For over 5 years, we have been talking about the issue of high and rising prices of care in New York City hospitals. In 1 year, it costs us more for care at 5 large academic medical centers in New York City than for our entire pension benefit. And while we know that safety nets like health and hospitals do not contribute to this issue, New York City's workers and employers need transparency and protection from the highest hospital prices. This is why it is critical for the City Council to support the strong implementation of the Office of Healthcare Accountability. The office can provide one entity that collects and disseminates critical information on healthcare cost drivers and hospital prices. And we hope to receive the office's first annual report on New York City hospital pricing and finances later this month. It is particularly important that that report provide negotiated hospital inpatient and outpatient prices by procedure and by hospital for the city's public employee health plan, and that those prices are benchmarked to Medicare so that we have a consistent point of comparison. We know that the value of this office is only as good as the data it can access and share, and we know there are many industry players that would prefer that this information stay hidden. We urge the City Council to engage critically with the report findings and to advocate for the release of all information required under Local Law 78. If certain information is missing, we hope the City Council should ask why that is. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right. So thank you all. You came here to share your thoughts and experiences today. If there is anyone in the chamber right now who wishes to speak but has not yet had the opportunity to do so, please raise your hands and fill out the appearance card with the Sergeant at Arms. Okay, seeing none. No hands in the chamber, will now shift to the Zoom testimony. When your name is called, please wait until a member of our team unmute you and the Sergeant at Arms indicate that you may begin. And thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for your time. We will start with Andrew Falzon.
You may begin.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be here today at the request and invitation of Committee Member Brooks Powers regarding the pending closure of the Neponset Adult Day Healthcare System. My apologies, I'm not sure why my video is not on.
But we can hear you.
Okay, there we go. Again, my apologies. Yesterday, I attended Councilmember Brooks Powers' emergency town hall meeting regarding the pending closure of the Neponset Adult Day Healthcare Center, which unfortunately is only 25 days away. Yesterday, we learned information from executive administrative members at HHC who oversee the McKinney Nursing Home, which oversees in turn the Neponset Adult Day Healthcare Center. And some of that information was quite concerning. I asked Mr. Weinstein, who is the CEO of McKinney, how many participants the program needed to remain financially viable. And I was told that there was no number of registrants that would make the program financially viable. The problem with that response is that only 2 months earlier, his own managers told the community board, Queens Community Board 14, that the program needed 150 members to remain viable. I asked who was responsible for doing the marketing of the program, and all of the other medical model programs in the area have a marketing person. I was told that it was the responsibility of the social worker who is only employed there part-time, and it's not appropriate for a social worker to be doing marketing of the facility, especially when McKinney already spends $305,000 a year employing communications professionals. To that end—
Thank you, your time expired.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And
Try to wrap it up.
I would request that the committee hold a hearing specifically on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're calling Wayne Richards.
You may begin.
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon. I'd just like to thank Councilwoman Sylvina Powers for holding the town hall yesterday. I just want to read this particular questions that I have. During last night's, during last night's town hall, the CEO of Health and Hospitals presented evidence of extensive resources and community engagement in the Neponset Adult Healthcare Center closure. I requested an explanation for the lack of comparable support for its continued operation. I further inquired as to factors preventing the success of proven care programs at Neponset, and whether the center's failure was the result of intentional design. And also, I'd like to ask Mr. Katz, if your father was in Neponset today, what would you do to make sure that he would stay there? What would you recommend to Neponset to be able to operate if your dad was there today? Thank you.
Thank you. The next is Jean-Marie Fitch.
You may begin.
Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me to speak. And I thank Sylvina Brooks Powers for the invitation. I too was at the meeting last night. I've been advocating to facilitate and stop the closure of Neponset Adult Daycare in the Rockaways, where we have a great need to service the medically fragile population. And the explanation we were given about the closure was low participation, low enrollment, and we identified the problem with that is the lack of contracts with the MLTCs of people that actually live in this community. And that has stifled the growth of the program. This program has been in our community since 1988, and it's a little bit, a confusion to me as to why now to close it when Rockaway is being built up with lots of senior housing. And we really desperately need this program to remain open and to flourish and to grow. And like Andrew said, definitely need a true marketing person assigned to this particular center. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you. The next person is Raquel Delgado.
You may begin.
Hi, thank you so much for your time, and I want to thank Council Member Savannah Brooks Powers for yesterday. I was at the town hall meeting, and I have been working on trying to raise the awareness of the lack of marketing and also the admittance of new residents. I was highly disappointed, as the previous speaker stated, that due to the contracts that they have with the MLTCs, they weren't accepting new applicants. I have worked closely with Neponset in the last couple of years in community events, and the need is required. The need is there for the community, especially medical. And especially I, as a caregiver, my mother was a resident for 6 years there. And the daycare center is needed. And as an advocate for the elderly and the sick, in the last 2 years alone, working with Neponset, there was a need of 33 people signing up, showing interest in the center. And yesterday, the speaker has stated, just like Andrew stated, that there was a requirement of 150. And the center is able to hold 50 residents on a daily basis, but currently they have 15. The marketing is not there. People don't know about Neponset as much as if they tried. And I think as a community, and we continue fighting against the closure, we could get that center moving. We could help the elderly and be an advocate. The daycare center is more than a medical daycare center. They offer social service needs and patient advocacy for their residents who are entered into the hospital, and a need for the caregivers. And Mr. Weinstein's response was that there are other adult social daycares. As a caregiver to a mom who had Alzheimer's, that is totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable when you have an Alzheimer's patient that cannot even sit in a van traveling an hour to almost 2 hours because they're picking up other patients, and be there safely. And not only that, as adult social
Thank you. Your time expired.
Thank you. I appreciate your help.
Thank you. The next is Raul Rivera.
You may begin.
Oh, no.
Good afternoon. My name is Raul Rivera. So we're talking about finance, and we're talking about the elderly. I was at the town hall yesterday. I think the town hall was pretty despicable because the presenter of the town hall and the person that was speaking there, I forget his name, actually put on display that the deal to shut down that senior center was done. It was done last year, October of last year. It was done. It was shut down. There is money that can be looked for. If you go back to the de Blasio administration, Thrive NYC, there was $1 billion that went unaccounted for. And I think the city council members should speak up and should investigate where that money's at. We know Malliotakis, Congresswoman Malliotakis tried to touch on it, but what has been done? Plus, New York City gave $6.1 billion to illegal immigrants in New York City, and we can't take care of our own. That is shameful. I personally, as a native New Yorker, invite Doge, Mr. Trump, and his team to come here in New York and to investigate the New York City Council and the work that they are doing in this city with the nonprofits. We see them there already asking for money. We say shame to the city council, and we say shame to this committee.
Are you done, Mr. Rivera? Thank you.
Well, I'm not done. You only give me 2 minutes. I can go on for days.
No, I'm about to finish 50 seconds.
Yeah.
Thank
Was
you.
it 3 minutes?
50 seconds. 47.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I repeat, look into that money. Look into the money of Thrive NYC. Do you know about that money? It doesn't matter if de Blasio is not in office anymore. It's $1 billion, and we can't take care of our own senior citizens. That is disgraceful. That is disgraceful. I'm done now.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Oh, is anyone, we are making a final call for the Zoom registrants. If you're registered, you have not yet spoken. Anyone on the Zoom? No one raising their hands? If not, if you are currently on the Zoom and wish to speak but have not yet had the opportunity to do so, please use the raise hand function and our staff will unmute you. Seeing no hands, I would like to know that everyone can submit a written testimony to testimony@council.nyc.gov within 72 hours of the hearing. So I want to say thank you again, Dr. Katz. Most of the admin do not stay, but you stayed. That kind of, I'm very moved by that. That's the second time you stay, and I do appreciate you. And that shows that you love the work that you're doing. You have the caring, the passion, and the compassion, and I want to say thank you. And thank you to your team, Midel. I know how to get you, so thank you. Patsy, everyone, so thank you. And to conclude, I want to say thank you to all the Sergeant at Arms that's here with us, and I want to say thank you to my staff. I want to say thank you to the Finance Division, everyone that helped to make it possible for us to do that hearing. Florentine, I don't want to misname, Ree, and Roman that's newly come here. Yeah, I hope you had a great experience. So I want to say thank you for your work. You make it much easier for me. So thank you all. I appreciate you.